Yo, what's up? So, this is going to be the third episode. I think it's going to be more of financial talk or like money talk of where it's like how my life's been without like 9 to 5. And strictly saying, to be frank, you can do a 9 to 5. This is mainly for videos for people that are not happy with their 9 to 5, because in a 9 to 5 you can honestly career climb, and that's completely fine. I wish you the best, because I know some friends that are really deep into it, and I tell them, to job hop. Like, after six months to a year, you're ready to probably job hop, because honestly, they're going to add more workload to you. So, at least that's my personal experience when I used to work. So, it's whereas, like, you were so efficient with your job that they basically added, more tasks, and you got paid the same rate, right? But, just speaking some validity in like what I do and whatnot, people are like, oh, this is rented, like this car is rented, whatever, and just a bunch of like, oh, you should have got this car, you should have got that, right? For me, like, I like being transparent, so I mean, brought this up real quick. Yeah, it's a live account. Yeah, but I'm happy with where I'm at now, like, frankly speaking. So, it's more or less like if you wanted to take the risk, because, like I said in my very first video where it was, like, unformatted, this one is more so, like, if you want to do it, you can, but remember, no business is ever going to be great the first time around. And I learned a lot from my first business, there was a lot of trials and tribulations, but now to where I am in current day, it's lonely because no one can really relate to you, right? When you basically voice your struggles and whatnot, they're like, oh, that sucks, or, oh, you'll figure it out, And for a business entrepreneur, it's kind of like, well, shit, right? Fuck around and find out. But in a sense, once like the 9 to 5 worker hops off their job, you don't really worry about that problem. But in a sense, for a business guy, you have 24 hours to fill your gap. So whether, of course, 8 hours of sleep is what you kind of try to aim for, and like, because you spend a third of your life sleeping, so it's optimal to get the right amount of sleep. And the mentality there is people want to do like the 5 in the morning and get up, read, journal. But like, to be like serious with you, like, it's not going to work unless you're like an actual like early bird, like you're ready to go and just get shit running, because in the morning you're gonna be half-ass awake. Like, are you really gonna journal? Are you really gonna read that book? You might half-ass your workout. Like, you might be like, oh, I'm gonna push through it and stuff like that. Like, if you have priorities ahead of your day, then sure, you can go do it, right? That's completely fine. But in a sense, for the normal person, if you work better at night, then you're better off just doing it at night, right? And like what I just showed you a bit ago, where I was able to stabilize that, like, so 6 figures, right? In a sense, I didn't expect to get there in the 2 years that I started my business, right? Now I'm about to close on a house soon, so this month, so October 1st. It's a great month so far. Like, just all the support, all like the love. Like, this is just, I don't know. Like, I didn't expect that much like response, I guess, because now I'm at 150 subs. So thank you all again if I haven't made that clear. I was thinking of like maybe probably doing the giveaway at like 1,000 subs or something, but anyway, I'm truly humbled for 150. I don't know what to do for the giveaway yet, so if you guys have any suggestions, let me know down below. But in terms of the business struggles, it's a 24-hour thing. Like, there's sometimes you get in your head and you think like, is this business gonna work? Is it not going to work? But at the end of the day, think about it. If you did it and at least tried, at least you can say you tried, right? Because when you're 25, like right now, like I'm 24, so when I hit 25, it's like I still have at least 5 more years till I hit my 30s, right? I have less responsibilities than the normal 30, 40, 50-year-old, right? And I'm truly blessed for that. Like, I'm not saying like, oh no, it sucks to be them, but like, I take advantage of the positions that I'm at, Whereas, you know, my parents didn't kick me out at 18, and people would complain, it's like, oh, you know, you must be nice to, like, have your parents, like, not kick you out and whatever, right? But I do my responsibilities and my role in the family then at that point, because they didn't kick me out. So it's like, do right by everyone and you should be fine, right? So in a sense, like, if you just did the business and learned it, then you can honestly, you know, make a life that you're fulfilled about. And if that's career climbing, go ahead and career climb. But in the end, it's, if you have that aching, like, itch in the back of your mind where it's like, I just want to try this, or at least do it, then I rather do it, bro. I rather have the fear of regret than the fear of failure, right? And the worst of the two is put yourself in a position where you're 60 and 70, where you're like, I wish I had did that. I wish I had done that. And from personal experience that I wish I recorded it on YouTube or whatnot, but solo traveling to Switzerland, Korea, all that was like nerve-wracking to me. But in the end, it taught me like a real big lesson. In the end, it was more so like, you're never gonna get the time back. Like, imagine I backed out of it because all the homies were like, oh, I can't go, or I can't afford to, or all that other stuff, right? And it's not really their fault. And some friends are naturally just flakers. It's like, they're just gonna flake on you. But you can't put the blame all on them, because in the end, if you wanted to do it, just do it, right? Imagine I didn't solo travel, I wouldn't have learned, like, this would be a real fun experience to do. Like, this would be something that's like, holy shit, right? Because when I went, I was scared. Like, in Korea, I was like, oh, dude, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to speak their language, or like know how to travel the subway system, the bus system. But when I went, I learned it. I asked some locals there. They taught me. They were really good at English. And then, like, the bus system and the subway train system wasn't really hard. I mean, Google, and then they have this special app called 𝐒𝐈𝐊𝐿. Basically, it's like, it's partial English, but I mean, you can get by if you, like, translate it, or at least, like, it has an alarm, so, like, when you get off of a train station. And anyway, the whole point is to live life. Like, we all have one life, so it just depends on what you want to do. So retrospectively thinking back on it, like, I didn't think I was gonna get to this point where I'm able to have this car, have this house, and just all that at this age, right? Like, to me, it's always been engraved, like, work hard, then in your 40s, like, have all of this. But if you take a chance and a bet on yourself, and again, like I said, the first time you may not succeed, but the more times you keep trying is the more that you learn from those mistakes, and you don't repeat them, and you get better. It's just like anything, like the gym, like I talked about in my previous video. If you want to watch that, it'll be at the end of the video, like over here somewhere. But in a sense, like, anything's possible. Like, I didn't think I was gonna go from 190 to 142 being shredded and then winning first, right? It's more so like, enjoy the process. Like, I enjoyed getting lean to that point. And there were struggles, and there were doubts, and there were tribulations for all that, right? In anything you do, there's always doubts, there's always roadblocks. But in the end, it's what you want to do with your life. Like, anything's hard. Being poor is hard, being rich is hard, being fat is hard, being skinny is hard. Every single route is hard. But in the end, it's your choices. It's your life. You end up where you are right now because of all the decisions you've made prior. And all the decisions I've made prior have led me up to this point where I'm blessed enough to just be an inspiration for others, because it's truly a crazy situation to be in, like, being able just to talk about this stuff, being transparent where I'm at, where all this stuff, like, in my mind. Like, people always ask me all the time, it's like, oh, dude, like, I love hearing you talk. Like, I wish there was, like, a better way. So, like, you know, my first video, like, I didn't watch it, like, because I was gonna critique myself so hard. So I was like, nah, I can't watch it. So I just posted it, and then it got positive feedback. So then my second video, I listened, I centered it out, and then I posted. So this video is a little different. Like, I'm not driving, so I have full focus on the camera and just talking. But yeah, why not take a try? Why not take a risk on yourself? Because in the end, we all end up in the same place. Whereas, you know, we won't be here forever. And the memories that you build is all that has, you know, that's all you really have. And I rather I rather look back, whereas in my 60s, I did all this. Like, I went snowboarding by myself. I went to all these countries. I explored life. I tried this business. I knew, like, the the struggles or the successes that it took, right? All that stuff. Like, it compiled to where I am now. Like, I'm more knowledgeable than I was 2 years ago when I started. Because at first I was like, do I start an LLC? Do I do this? Like, does it work? Should I be a sole proprietorship? There's like so many things, so many nuances, and I was like doubting myself a lot. I was like, was this the right decision to like quit this job? Should I go back to the job, have some security? But if you're always scared to lose, then how are you ever going to win? Right? Let's say you're scared to quit your job to find a new job, and you're stuck at this job and your mental's just going down. Like, are you really just going to stay at that job because that's all you know? Like, just take the step out, apply to other new places, and see if you get accepted somewhere, right? Like, just because you got rejected once from a job application does not mean you can't submit like another 100 to a different other 100 companies, right? And then eventually you get picked up one. It's the same thing with business. Like, if you want to try it, but just know, like, it's not a guarantee. Like, you have to put in the work every day to make it a guarantee. And even then, it's like there are days that you just don't feel like doing anything, and that's okay. And I highly vouch for, taking that break. Like, you can't be going in the car 100 all the time, every day, 24/7, because you'll eventually have a burnout. Like, that burnout will make you not really want to enjoy like any other new successes that you bring upon, or like any new achievements. They don't really matter to you because you're mentally in the head or already burned out. So it's okay to, on some of those days, to be going 20, 30 instead of going 100. Because you can't keep going 100 all the time. Your car is going to blow up. Like, that's just how it is. Like, you have to maintain going like 30s and 40s some days, and then 50, 60 the next day. It's like picking up the slack. Like, some days you're feeling, 70, 30, 70 hardware, 30s. But the main point is, like, 80% of that comes from the 20%. Like, the 20% is all the light work. Like, in your day-to-day, we often like to, like, the most important task that we have to do that day, we avoid it. We add, like, all these other 80% noise that could have just been done with the 20%. It's like, let's say, like, you just needed to write this email, but, like, you're just nervous to send this email, whatever. So you start cleaning your room, cleaning the dishes, going to the gym, doing all that stuff just to avoid that one thing that you could have just did in 5 minutes. And my motto there is, like, if it's not going to matter in 5 minutes, don't sweat about it. But if it is going to matter in 5 minutes, then just do it. But also, another analogy is, like, just do it. Like, if you have a business idea, write it down. You don't have to do it right now, but write it down. Writing it down, you're more likely to do it anyway. So, like, in any sense, if you have a money goal, a lifestyle goal, whatever, if you write it down, you're more likely to at least attempt it or try to do it. Because most of the time, you're going to say, oh, yeah, this is a great idea, blah, blah, blah. And then you don't write it down. You don't take any notes on it. Then you will probably forget about it. All those missed opportunities that, like the what ifs, right? You don't really want to leave any what ifs on the table. If you can just, come back to it, and now you have a place to come back to it, right? So I think in the next video, I'm going to talk about my clothing brand and how I went about it. But that's the thing. Like, you have to try. Like, I don't know much about clothing, but now that, like, I know how a tech pack works, the measurements works, manufacturings, and all that stuff, right? And then a few future episodes talk about my business, talk about all this stuff, just more about me. But I think this is more of like a mindset, like financially, like, you can do it. Like, I'm only 24 and I'm able to achieve all this. Like, it's very much possible. You just have to believe in yourself. And prior to the second video, I said the same stuff. It's more or less like, if you believe in yourself, then it's going to happen. No matter when or how, it's just going to happen. Because, you can't be a loser if you don't quit. A winner is just a loser that tried one more time. But yeah, thank you for watching this episode. I'm going to keep it a little shorter, but thank you.